Hey guys, I just want to apologize for the mic quality of this video. We kind of just tried to do it in one run and just kind of talk. That way it was more normal and fluent, and so it didn't sound kind of forced or anything. Uh, we tried, I tried to have it to where two headphones, because we both had headsets on to talk, but it only worked with one of them. We're going to use a standing mic from here on about this, but yeah, sorry about the quality later on. Okay, so we're going to start this.
Woo!
It's been a year.
It has been a year since we did the last Dropping Taters. That was literally just like, hey, let's recap on our lives. like that was what it was.
Well, we've decided to talk about ghosts.
Yeah, we're talking about ghosts today because we both had like a little handful. I think you more so than me of like ghost stories.
Yeah.
So like where do we want to start? First, I think we should start with like, do you believe in the paranormal?
I guess. I mean,
Yes. Like,
because I've had weird, unexplainable things happen, but, it always comes down to, like, is it just your mind playing tricks on you because you're trying to make yourself scared? But, I don't know. If you talk to my buddy Antonio, like, we've gone through some freaky shit. It's kind of funny that you wanted to bring up ghosts, because, like, I was watching a bunch of paranormal videos this past week, like out of
no
nowhere.
way.
So it's
No
kind of
way. So you're like you're
yeah,
ready. You're
it's
like
cool. Yeah,
primed.
but yeah. Should we start out with like?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and
Well,
I
what about
guess.
you? Do you believe in the
Oh,
paranormal?
me, yeah. I believe that there is unexplained. I'm not sure if it's ghosts. I'm not sure if it's, like, just like our brains playing tricks on us. Like you said.
Yeah.
I've had some strange things happen to me in the past where I was like, this is what I thought I heard. This is what I saw. This is what my brain pieced together for me. But I'm not quite sure now. Aliens, I'm like, I'm on board. Aliens, I'm
Yeah.
ready. Like, yeah. But when it comes to like ghosts and stuff, like I want to believe. I'm like that poster, except instead of a UFO, it's ghosts. I want to believe in ghosts, and I want them to be real. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe not.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Um. Well, there's been multiple occasions in this very house, actually,
Mm.
in which I've heard things. So, like my dad, right? Growing up, he would never come upstairs. He would always just yell from the downstairs, like, Clay! Clay! And then, I'd just go down, because he would be like, I'm not calling you for my health! And, like, dumb dad jokes kind of thing. But there was one day I was playing video games, and I heard my dad yelling from the downstairs, Clay! So I was like, I'm coming! I go downstairs and no one's home. It was fucking creepy.
What the heck?
Yeah, no, I went to Antonio's house and stayed there for like a couple hours until I kind of
Yeah.
just forgot about it and went home.
I think you actually told me about that years ago when we were younger. That like you had heard things in this house, like in the middle of the night, like
Yeah,
footsteps
yeah.
and such.
Well, there was another time, and this was when my sisters still lived here, and my mom and everybody still were hanging around. I got out of the shower uh, upstairs, and my sister's room was right next to the bathroom. And I heard her crying whenever I was in the bathroom. I just got done with my shower. I was just drying off, and yeah, I heard her crying. And so I was like, I should be a good brother and go in and be like, hey, are you okay? I went in to her room and she wasn't in there, so I thought she just went downstairs or something. So I went downstairs and my mom was doing the dishes or whatever, and I was like, hey, is Courtney crying? And she's like, Courtney's not home. I'm like, were you crying? She's like, no, just been here. So I was like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, that sounds like that one's scary. Like hearing voices. I've never. Well, actually, yeah, I have. I have heard like mysterious voices where I'm like, am I going crazy? That kind of deal. But that's like freaky. Where you're like you realize you're alone and you're like, but I just heard someone yell.
Yeah, no, and it was super, like, it's like one of those things, like, for a fact you heard.
You heard it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. I've only had like one experience really that I'm absolutely sure that like I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I was just telling it to you. I was house sitting for a friend's house across the street, and ever since I was little, I was like super uncomfortable in her house. In the middle of the night, we would have sleepovers, and in the middle of the night, I would get very uncomfortable. I'd get a little freaked out and stuff. And so I'm taking care of the house. Her dogs are outside, and I'm inside. And I hear voices upstairs, right? And so I think it's like they told me that their son and their nephew would come like and pick up the Xbox at one point during the week because like the nephew wanted to play the Xbox. And so I was thinking, oh, it's just them upstairs, it's just their son and their nephew. And I stand there and I'm looking at their stairwell, and pretty much the whole stairwell is also blocked off by a wall. Only once you get to the very bottom can you see like who's coming down the stairs. And so I'm standing there and I'm hearing voices and I'm like, And then I hear I hear the boom, 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 boom of someone coming down the stairs. And the footsteps pretty much get all the way to the bottom, and there's nobody there. And at this point, I'm like freaked out. I'm like thinking, like, is there a robbery? Did someone hear me? Am I about to get attacked? And so I wait a little bit, and then I kind of walk to the stairs and peek around the corner, and like nobody's there. And then I go upstairs, and all of their doors are open because while they were on vacation, they wanted the air to circulate through the house. And nobody was there. Like I peeked in every single doorway, even closets, and nobody was there. And I was like, what the hell? And I left. I let the dogs in, and I went straight home. And then my mom yelled at me for checking out the possible strange footsteps I heard in a house that weren't supposed to be there. So,
Oh yeah.
that's what happened to me. That's probably the freakiest thing that's ever happened to me.
And what was the son and the nephew's name?
Their names were Paco and Armani.
That's awesome. That's an awesome name.
Yeah.
Either one of them.
Both of them. Just
Yeah, no, there was actually a time, I think it was, because you remember when I lived in Oregon, I would always call you when I was at my night janitorial job.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yeah, so I picked up that job as, like, a car payment, right? So it was just, like, a little extra income, and I would clean office buildings at night. And there was this one particular office building that I was set to clean, and it was 3 floors, right? There was it was a bigger building, but I only had to clean 3 floors. I had to clean the first and second floor, and then the basement. And I was always kind of weirded out going to the basement, but I never really had too much go on in the basement.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, we're in Texas. They're like Houston, South Texas. So, like, we don't have basements.
No.
Basements are a very uncommon thing. If you have a basement, your basement's gonna flood here.
Yeah, and I'd always have to, like, vacuum the stairwell, and I've always heard doors shut and close, like, or open and close, but there was other janitors and people cleaning up there, so I didn't think anything of it. But there was one time, like, and it was probably just a trick of the mind. Like, I'm not saying that it was like an actual like encounter with anything, but I was vacuuming the second floor, and there was a hallway. I don't even remember if I was on the phone with you or not. Like, do you remember me ever saying like, "Holy shit, I just saw something"? Like, run at me?
Not that I can remember.
Well,
a while back.
I probably called you afterwards because I did
Yeah.
not want to be alone for the rest of that whole time. I rushed out of that place. I cleaned really quick and was like, nope. But yeah, so I was on the second floor and I was like vacuuming the floor, and we had like one of those like backpack vacuums where you just like grab this pole and you're just vacuuming up the floor.
Wait, like a backpack like Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah,
No.
exactly like that. But yeah, no, so I was vacuuming up the carpet, and from the side of my eye, I see someone running around the hall right at me, and I turn around and no one was there. But I think it was just something like crossed my vision, and and
that's what you thought.
But that scared the fuck out of me. I was so terrified, like I jumped. I was like, holy fuck.
See, that's when you shine your flashlight at them, and then you'll see their heart, and then you suck them up with the vacuum.
Well, no, I'm not gonna lie. I aimed my vacuum. I was using it as a weapon. I was like, I'm gonna suck you up, fool. No, but yeah, that was a scary situation.
Oh, God.
And these aren't even like the scariest things that I've encountered. See, that one I'm already ruling out was probably just a trick of the mind.
Yeah.
But those 2 voice ones in my own house was terrifying. The first thing I ever remember though is I was like 5, and my living room area, right? I used to have my bed here, and this room used to be mine, and I woke up really, really early, and it was like super early in the night, and I remember vividly going to my closet, like, and opening the door, and I saw something on the side of the wall,
In the closet?
like a specter kind of thing,
Oh,
you know, like
God.
it was kind of creepy. Uh, Going back to it though, I mean, I was 5,
Yeah, you were 5.
so I mean, that one's not really super good
That
either.
always, like, but, like, seeing things in the night, though, that is a thing that our brains do, is that we're always looking out for other people. And so, like, that's, like, a thing your brain does. Because, like, whenever I was a kid, and even now, like, when I'm in my room, like, I still, like, if I'm even, like, I go through phases where I get freaked out in the night. And so, you know, I'll keep a TV on or something until I'm very tired and then I'll turn it off. But, like, at one point I rearranged my room and I hung a ukulele on my wall. And then in the middle of the night I woke up and I was looking at my wall and I'm like, oh my god, there's someone in my room! But it was the ukulele and I'm like, wait a minute. That's my ukulele. I'm an adult. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, I know that you've been to the abandoned house in Jasper.
Yes.
That's your big one.
Those are my big ones.
Yeah.
Now, one also ties back into this house too.
Yeah.
Because I used to think this house was haunted. Like, I used to be fucking totally convinced because the scariest thing that happened in this house I haven't even talked about yet. Like, the voices were pretty eerie. But I'm going to start with the one in Jasper because
Okay.
it's a similar type of thing that happened. So my grandparents, they live in Jasper, Texas. They have their own little house on this county road. They have their own little hill area. It's really cool. It's a really nice place. It's beautiful. Um, there's this really small house that's right on the county road next to my grandma's house that has been abandoned since the 20s. Like, me and my mom went in there whenever it was still standing, and there was a calendar in there that was dated like 1926 or some shit.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, it was an old
That is
fucking house,
old.
and it was just super abandoned and run down and nasty. But there was like pill bottles in the fucking toilet. Like, some
Oh,
junkie probably
yeah,
lived in
yeah,
there for a
somebody
bit.
squatted there.
Yeah. But that house was always super creepy. Uh, but Antonio went with me to Jasper, uh, and we all kind of just hung out. He always used to come up too. Like, we always used to do this. But it was this time because my grandma, she has an extra house next to her house that used to be owned by my great grandpa. They built it for him, and he's passed on. So I mean, that house has always been open. So me and Antonio decided to stay in there the whole time we were in Jasper. And so we had our own little place, so we got to go out at night and do whatever we wanted. But during the daytime, what we did was we went to... there's this other house on the county road, the same county road. It's a little bit closer to the highway or whatever. Whatever main road that was. And this house lives in the property in the back in the woods area, and like to get there, like off the county road, there's this mile and a half long stretch of just road that leads to their house. Me and Antonio, we ended up walking in there, and in Texas, that's not really smart because
Yeah.
if you're trespassing, you're gonna get shot. But we went down there, and right off the bat you can tell like it was unkept, like the grass was super high. They had this like kind of
And this is that same house from the 20s.
no
Okay,
no
this is
that
different.
that house from the 20s, it hurricane knocked it down a while ago. Like, that thing's been
So this is a different house.
right. It's a little bit more up the road,
Okay.
but has a mile long stretch to get to it. They had this little it's like this RV, like it was all terraformed, like it was a terraformed trailer, like grass was growing in it and out of it and shit.
Yeah,
And then the house next to it, which was also kind of run down, paint's all chipped up and everything.
Yeah.
Like, that house was fucked.
Hmm.
But from what my dad was telling me at the time is that it was being bought by a younger member of the family, and they were planning on coming up there and working on it and fixing it up and everything. But me and Antonio went up there, and we went to the steps of the house, like the front door, and there was a key right on the ground, like right in front of the steps. So we grabbed the key like idiots, like, huh, we got the key to this house, let's bury it.
Oh no.
But before we went back to bury the key, we went up to the door. Well, I went up to the door. He stopped before the trailer because he was already freaked out. Like he was not having it.
Yeah.
And at the time, like, Antonio was a pretty big dude. Like, you know, but I went up to the door, and I swear to God, when I opened the door, I saw eyes open in the back of the room. So I was like, Antonio, run! And, dude, he was already halfway down the fucking road. And I was like, you fucking asshole! But he said he turned around and he saw, like, a shadowy-ish figure, like, behind me. I don't know, like, because obviously I wasn't seeing it. I was too busy fucking running. But we went back to the little house, the Pawpaw's house. And we dug a hole next to a tree and we buried the key in it. Later that night, we were sitting in Pawpaw's house. We were trying to watch some TV. We were trying to find something to watch. And we had our airsoft guns with us. Just because we planned on having like little airsoft wars and shit. Well, we were watching TV, and suddenly the entire side of that wall just shook, and there was a huge, like, boom, right? Like, something just fucking huge just rammed against the wall.
Was there, like, a storm? There wasn't.
No, there was no storm. It wasn't raining. It wasn't doing anything.
It was
we even, like...
Suddenly something hit the wall.
Yeah, no, what we did is we kept our guns next to us, and we shook for the rest of the fucking night until we fell asleep. The next day, we walked around the place, and there was nothing... But the key was fucking gone. I am not even fucking joking. It was terrifying. Yeah, we did not go back to that house.
Oh my god.
That's the thing that's fucking weird, though, is like, that shit fucking happened.
The key
like,
was gone.
It was fucking gone. And it's not like we forgot where we buried it, because we buried it the night before, or the day before.
Yeah.
But that was fucking terrifying, because literally the entire fucking wall shook. And it was a huge bang.
It was like something.
Something just fucking rammed the fucking. It was fucking terrifying.
Was it like somebody ran full force at it, or was it like something like hit the entire wall?
I mean, the entire fucking wall shook. It was scary as fuck. Like the TV was like about to fall off of its fucking thing. It was scary.
You didn't tell me that part. You just said that you saw something and you ran.
Well, that's the main part I like to talk about.
Yeah.
But
the scary part is the keys.
That was fucking I know I've told you that part because that part was like fucking unbelievable.
Good Lord.
But there was another time me and Antonio were back here at this house, and a similar thing happened, but not necessarily. It wasn't like the whole wall shook or anything, but we were sitting on YouTube, and this is when I was living over in like the room down there where my sister used to live, because whenever she lived here she had her kid, and then I let her have the big room and I took her room, which was a horrible idea because it was hot as shit. And all my electronics in there just made it like it was a sauna. But we were watching YouTube on my PS3, and we were watching like Ouija board videos and like just scary shit, stuff you're not really supposed to be like, you know, but like we were just in the mood to be scared, so we were like, let's watch some shit. And we were watching this like Ouija board video, and like my door, like someone was banging on my door. I opened the door, no one was there. I went downstairs. This is when my mom and my dad were still together in here. They were watching a movie, and I was like, did you guys go upstairs at all? They said no. And I was like, are you sure? Because no one else was home. It was just us, like, me, Antonio, and my parents, right? So, yeah, the door was, like, banging, which was pretty creepy. So, me and Antonio have not watched this, like, we haven't, like sat down and watched them together. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, we don't do that no more. Another experience with that house in Jasper, though. One time, me and Jake went up there, and Jake was all like, "Oh, this is stupid. None of that shit happened. Oh, that's fine." And we go up there, and you can tell he's already terrified because as soon as we reach the house, he's like, "If there's any homeless people in there, don't hurt us." But we went up to it, and yeah, It's pretty creepy shit.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were too scared to even, like, I wasn't gonna open that fucking door again.
Yeah, no.
No, fuck that. I mean, you can tell that the son or whatever family member was coming up to work on it, he already started at that point. Like, he was already kind of working on the. But yeah, no, we were kind of creeped out and we just kind of backed out and walked off.
I
But
can't believe that something like chased you in the night though. That's like, oh my god.
well, I mean, that part was during daytime. Like
That
when we
was
took the
daytime,
key and we opened the door, that was
Oh, so
daytime.
you buried the key in daytime too.
Yeah, and then nighttime the walls shook
Okay.
and there was that bang. Yeah,
I was thinking like it might have been like later in the evening when you buried the key, and I was like, well, maybe it was just dark. But no, you
No.
buried the key in daytime.
Right,
So
yeah.
you knew where you freaking buried it.
I wasn't gonna go into that house at nighttime. Like,
No.
fuck that shit.
Oh god.
Yeah,
That's
no, that was
terrifying.
terrifying moments. A really cool moment though. Me and Jake. It was kind of creepy at the time until we knew what was going on. There was one. It was like a 4th of July weekend or whatever, and me and Jake went up to Jasper, and we got BB guns and we duct taped flashlights to them. And so at nighttime we would put on backpacks and act like scavengers, and we would just like walk around with our guns and stuff, feel all cool like it's a zombie apocalypse. Or, like we were just kids, we were having fun. And the county road, it kind of turns to get to the main road, and once we took that turn to the main road, on the right hand side this dude has a pasture and it's like full of like cows and stuff. One of the creepiest experiences we had, but it was kind of really fucking cool but really dangerous now that we think about it.
Yeah.
Is we flashed our flashlights into the field and we literally saw like 6 sets of glowing eyes in a line, and they were like kind of walking toward us all creepy like. So we ran away. We came back and it turns out it was like coyotes, like,
Oh.
which is dangerous to be even fucking close to that shit. But there was like a barbed wire fence next to us, and I guess we just felt safe. And like I wanted to run away multiple times, but Jake was like, "No, dude, stay. Like it's fine."
God.
But they were literally like really close to us, but it was just a whole bunch of fucking coyotes, like
Dang.
fucking weird.
Oh my god.
But they were all just fucking chilling, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. Like, I wanted to run so many times, but Jake was like, dude, if one of it gets eaten. And I'm like, dude, fuck off, let's go. But, yeah, that was just a really cool experience.
Yeah. Cool, but like scary. Like maybe we shouldn't have done that, but we.
No, as soon as we saw the,
the
like, 6 pairs of eyes, like, that was creepy as shit.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But once we came back and realized that it wasn't something supernatural, it was just really kind of cool. Like, it's a story we always go back to and talk about all the time.
Nice.
Like, just because that was a really cool experience. Dude, it was a great time, man. Like, coming to think of it now, like, he's saying that, like, no, it's probably just dogs and stuff, but they were, like, right next to us, and those were not dogs.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Like, no. But it was a cool experience. I like Jasper a lot, but I don't go to that other house anymore for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons.
I'm not gonna piss anything off.
Oh god. Yeah. I don't think I adventure enough to like have paranormal experiences. But I have like experienced some frightening graffiti actually. There is down in Galveston, there's a brewery, an abandoned brewery. It's full of like asbestos. I'm probably gonna get mesothelioma. But my friends and I went to that place, and they already knew about this graffiti, but they scared me with it because it's like, it's this big room full of like detritus, just straight up. It's full of rubble, which is weird because like you look up and you're like, where did all this freaking rubble come from? I'm not sure if it came from like the ceiling collapsing, because a lot of the ceilings are collapsing in that place. But somebody painted this big dark figure on the back wall, which is like 50 feet away. It's really far away. So when you shine a flashlight on it, all you see is this black figure, and they scratched out where the eyes go, and these beady eyes. And it's like, it legitimately frightened me whenever I saw it. So like, just to show like how the brain can like, you see something that looks like that, you freak out, you know? I was actually gonna ask you, try to I don't know, like slightly, if you don't mind, slightly move topics. If
Yeah.
that's okay.
I mean, I've already kind of gone through all my ghost stories anyway.
I was gonna talk about weird things that don't quite, like, that happen to you but don't quite make sense. Like, the only example Well, I can think of a few examples on my end, but a really good example I can think of is my friend just got done doing a gig. He plays bass guitar, right?
Mhm.
And so they just got done, and he goes and he puts his guitar case on his amp. And then he turns around for just a moment, and then when he turns back, he goes to pick up his guitar case, and the shoulder strap of his amp is through the jack on that comes out of the amp, the quarter-inch jack, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like somebody unplugged it real quick and then plugged it back in. He didn't hear anything. He like looked around at his guys and he's like, hey, did any of you guys like just unplug my amp and plug it back in real quick? And they're like, no. So like, have you ever had something like that happen where like um just you'll be like, this is something has suddenly changed here, and I just don't know what happened. There's a name for it. I can't remember what it is right now. Like, what I can think of is like, I was somewhere today. I was at Fry's Electronics, you know,
Yeah.
just one step short of Radio Shack, and I was walking down an aisle, and someone passed me in the aisle, right? And we were about midway through the aisle, and at Fry's, like, the aisles are huge.
Yeah.
So we were midway through the aisle, and I'm looking for something and stuff, and I turn around, and that person's gone. And they weren't moving much faster than I was. They were kind of, you know, boop, 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 you know, like,
Yeah.
a good little pace, but not far enough to, like, be gone. So that's what happened to me today. I was like, where'd that
The
person go?
fuck?
Yeah, unless they just started, like, sprinting down the aisle. You know, like.
That's usually what I do at a store. I'm just normally walking, and then you just see me sprint off. And...
Oh, there goes Clay again. God damn it. But yeah, I feel like also that happens to me a lot, like on the road, is like, I'll see a car and I'll be like, okay, I need to look out for that car, and then I'll turn to look for it again, and it'll be gone. You know? Like, it's the weird little things that our brain, like takes out of existence, or, you know, stuff like that, where our brain will, like, you know, pretty much remove something from existence if we're not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if we lose track of it, it's just gone. There's a lot of that stuff, too. I don't know. That's what I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and that's why I bring it up.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had moments like that. Like, there's always times where, like, I'll hear, like, a noise or something, like, right behind me, and, like, nothing happens. But I figure it's just, like, something dropping. Ooh, like, at work. I work at the main hospital, and then I work at, like, this, the small side ER. It's, like, right across the street. It's just pretty much to expand our ER. And, yesterday, the weirdest thing is, like, because we were getting slammed. Like, this whole past 2 weeks have just sucked. So I have to print out labels for the patient, right? And, you know, I give them a wristband and all that stuff, and I put the labels on the filing cabinet behind the desk so that when the nurse comes to pick up the chart and put the labels to the chart and stuff and pull them back, they can just grab it off the filing cabinet. It happened like 3 times yet last night, in which I put the labels up there, and I'm pretty sure, just like, I guess the way I think what happened was the air conditioning just turned on and like blew them off, but they were on there for a good 5-6 minutes before they just and just fall on the floor.
They just fell.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I always joke around because, like, at like 3 a.m., like every shift, 3 a.m. that I work at that place, the sliding doors will open at the entrance, and I'm all like, huh, okay, yeah.
The light above us just flickered, and I'm like, what the heck?
No, that's normal. I'm planning on putting a new ceiling fan in here, because, like, that one,
That sounds scary.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, so the sliding doors will open at every day at 3 a.m., so I'm always joking around, like, oh, it's the ghost coming in to check in. I'm like, oh, dude. So, like, every time, like, at 3 in the morning, like, if someone was sitting next to me, they would think I'm fucking insane. Because every time at 3 in the morning the doors open, I'm like, oh, it's just you. Okay. But, so yesterday when all the labels were falling off, I'm like, dude, I know it sucks, but stop. I'm just, like, talking to myself and being weird.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, no, I mean, stuff like that happens, but I don't think it's like scary stuff.
Yeah.
I just make jokes out of it.
should go to like a haunted whatever someday, or like a graveyard, or just like
There's a haunted hotel that they filmed the show The Shining in.
that's like all the way in Colorado. Though.
I
I was
know.
thinking around here. I was
Well,
thinking locally.
locally, I guess you can go into Galveston, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of shit
Oh,
there.
actually, funny story. Um, there is a pretty famous house in Galveston that they say is haunted. They say that there's a bunch of ghost activity. And I think it was the Ghost Adventurers that went there. My teacher from high school, to make extra money at the time, signed on to the job to be like, his job was pretty much to carry around a laptop and just write everything that went down in chronological order. Um, so they were there till pretty late in the night, but goodness, two things happened. One, they asked the owners if they could put a fire extinguisher on a chair so that way it would appear cold on a heat reader, right?
Hmm.
On what are those cameras called?
The
Thermal.
the thermal signature
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
whatever.
So they asked if they could do that, and they were like, "No, that chair's old. Like, please don't." And then the owners left, and they really quick, like, like sprayed the chair after the owners were gone, and then they put the camera on. And they're like, "Oh, look, this chair is cold. There's a ghost here," and he's like typing it down the whole time. He's like, "Ha ha ha." And then another time, they were in like a lower floor, and on this lower floor, there's windows to the outside, and there are these little like floodlights that point at the house. And so he had walked out for like a smoke break or something, and he accidentally walked in front of those lights, and it made a shadow on the window, and the like inside they were freaking out, and they were like, oh, there was a shadow. I just saw a shadow outside, like
Yeah.
doing the whole like ghost adventure thing, and then later he was on the radio, and he was like, "Oh, sorry guys, that was just me." And they put it in the show. You can go back and watch the show. They still freak out about the chair and the shadow that passed the window.
You
And,
remember
like, they
our,
knew it was him.
You remember our? It was like our. I think it was our economics team, Mr. O'Leary.
Oh, that was his story.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that. For a moment, I forgot we went to the same high
Yeah.
school.
Do we need to recap on the first Droppin Taters? No.
Oh, no, last time.
But yeah, no, he was talking about that. He was saying like he accidentally dropped something, and then they were like, "Oh shit!" and he was like, "Uh oh." Yeah.
Like every time, it's always me. God. But it just goes to show you that, like, not, it's really hard to go to a location and get ghost activity every single time.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta have the right conditions. I've heard stuff about, like, even Gettysburg. People always say, like, oh, they're residual hauntings. Like, they always, like, people will see people pretty much in the battlefield reenacting the battle, like the ghosts. But even those conditions have to be specific. So, like, a lot of ghost shows probably fake their evidence, which is unfortunate. And it's probably something that hasn't, like, how, like, people got all angry last couple of years because, like, YouTube pranks were like, oh, they're all fake, like,
Yeah.
I feel like people should talk about how ghost shows, some of the stuff on there is fake,
I think that's just a given, though.
Yeah.
I think most people just know that.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I was a kid, I didn't know, but when I got older, I was like, this is boring.
Yeah.
But, it's very easy to fool people when it comes to ghost stuff.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. Yeah. My friend was telling me about this channel he used to watch back when he was in high school, and it's can I say the channel name? Is that okay? Like,
It's not much.
you don't want me to like be pointing fingers or anything.
Mhm.
I don't know why. It's called The Haunting of Sunshine Girl, and it's pretty much like it was really easy to fool little kids and make them think it was real. But I was watching it, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, that's not how a person would hold a camera if there was a haunting. The whole time she's pointing the camera at her freaking face. And it's like, guys, I hear a sound. And she, it's on her freaking face. Did you hear that? And like a normal person would point the camera where they see the sound.
Right.
Because that's how they see it, And then like they're doing like these interviews with her mom, and or like the mom will pull out the camera to post a video on her channel, which like makes total sense that a kid would want their mom on their channel. like, and the mom's like, so, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about ghosts and Sunshine Girl, and it's just like 100%, like, it's bad, but
It's
it's easy.
bad.
It's just bad, but it's easy to fool kids with it. You
Yeah.
know, and I think that's another thing about those ghost things. It's like, yeah,
Yeah. No. So it's cool that you went onto the subject of like, you know, well, YouTube videos of scary hauntings and overall shows about scary
mm-hmm.
stuff. Because that could lead on to another segment of what are some of the videos that you've seen online that you think are the creepiest, most unexplained ones?
Have you seen the one of the man? I'm like freaking ready for this, by the way. I'm like so ready. I'm coming out swinging. The one of the man in the mining shaft. He's in the mining tunnel, and he's just pointing like a camera down the tunnel with like a flashlight. And there's these chains in lines hanging down the tunnel. And all of a sudden, you just like start seeing them like waving. And he's like, guys, there's no wind in here. Like, I don't know what's going on. There's no wind in here. You start seeing the chains swing, and then you start hearing things. And like the whole time you're like, what the hell? And this guy, like literally his channel wasn't a ghost channel. It was like a channel where he just did that. He went into like old mining shafts.
Yeah.
And so you just see these things freaking start swinging, and he's like, I'm starting to feel threatened. I'm gonna leave. like he's super chill about it. And you start
This is
hearing sounds,
pretty
and then
creepy.
you can see him like pick up his pace,
Yeah.
and it's like freaky to watch, because the reaction's genuine.
Yeah.
The explanation is genuine. Like the way he reacts. Just like everything about it just kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's one of them. Do you want to just like go back and forth, or?
Sure. Yeah. There was one that I saw a while back. I think it was like last year or sometime. And it was like this. It was like a list of like top whatever scariest
Yeah.
encounters and stuff. And it was one about these two kids in the like in this woods area, and they found like an abandoned church or whatever. And they were in there, started getting like really creeped out or whatever, but they still kept kind of pushing through. And they found this like coat closet, and they were coat.
Oh, okay, I heard coke
No.
for some reason. I was like, I'm
Cocaine. No, they found this coat closet and they were inside of it, and then the piano started to play. And like they opened the door and they kind of saw some person playing on the piano, and they fucking just booked it out. I think it's fake because
Yeah, they were.
the
They were
dude's
in
fucking
a different room.
right. The
This guy
dude's
was
playing
playing
piano.
Naruto, like, like the sad song that they play in
Da,
Naruto.
da, 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 da. Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you found my abandoned church.
No, but they like fucking freaked out, and then they just fucking booked it out. Like they had to run towards the person on the piano, and the thing got up like from the piano, but they already were like walking out the door. So I mean, like most of it, I think it's fake because it's like that seems pretty fake. But if it wasn't, oh my god, that would be terrifying as fuck.
Lord.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another one I saw that I don't know if this one's fake either. But the reaction was genuine. Or at least seemed genuine. The reaction seemed pretty extreme. It was these like four dudes who went into this house, and like it's classic abandoned house. They've got a bunch of there's detritus and stuff. But then they start like seeing things on the walls, like writing and stuff. I don't remember the video very clearly, but they go down to like the basement pretty much. And there's like a baby doll head and stuff, and there's like stuff hanging from the ceilings as well, like chains and stuff. And there's like a pentagram, of course, drawn on the floor. And so this guy has his camera on this baby doll, and all of a sudden it turns its head, and you just start hearing the worst, most blood curdling scream. And then all of the boys scream, and they book it, and
Oh my god.
by the time they get out, they're like, there's only three of us, and you hear their fourth friend like screaming, "Get it off of me!" In that room. Um, Gosh, now I want to go back and watch the video.
Yeah, no, I want to find
Yeah,
that video now.
We're gonna be watching a bunch
That
of
sounds
videos
fucking
after this.
cool.
But yeah, it was just like the whole video is either really acted really well, or like it's genuine, because it was enough to give me the creeps. And
Yeah.
I get the creeps pretty easily, to be honest, but it was enough for me to be like, oh no.
Yeah, no, that's fucking creepy. I mean, like, I've I don't see that's the problem with me and like paranormal stuff though is I don't really like I believe that you can like hear spirits and stuff like that, but I don't feel like you can actually be affected
Like
per,
attacked.
yeah. I mean, that can also go into the whole like there's a difference between spirits and demons and that was a
Yeah.
demon kind of thing, but I guess I've just lived such a pure life. I don't fuck around with
Yeah.
demon shit.
No, no, no.
No.
Like you bring that Ouija board
I
in
mean,
there,
that
I'm like,
fucking
okay.
bashing against the wall, like, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's very
explaining
manly
that,
for you, I bet.
it could come off as hostile and aggressive, but it didn't necessarily, like, attack me as a person. It just attacked the wall and it scared the fuck out of me. Like, I've never had an experience where I've felt or um, been attacked by something. So, I mean, like, I guess it's just my ignorance towards that as being like, oh, well, I don't know if that's actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But that sounds creepy and I want to see it.
I don't like the I can for me like I do honestly think that like if you mess with that part of like scary stuff,
Like a
you're
demon
gonna
side of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna get shit. Because like what was it? I heard this one story that was it's really good. And it was legit like this woman called the police, um, and the police showed up to their house and they come in and her son is freaking like they have reports of him like levitating and fucking with us. So like
That's
I'll
pretty
have to show you
crazy.
that video as well because like you're like what the hell, you know? But
Yeah.
ooh,
Huh. Well, let's take a moment for our sponsor. Um, P Wow. Um, Amazing product. Gets rid of P. 1, 2, 3. It's as easy as that.
just
Uh,
wipe and it's gone.
P Wow. All right, and so we're back. Just like all podcasts, just like no, but
Personally, me, I have used PWOW for a long time.
best thing, like I pee everywhere, and sometimes you just need one of those pee wows, man. But no, the scary story that I was gonna come up with next is a
Come
very
up with.
well, not come up, like talk about. It's a very popular one. It's that chick in the elevator.
Oh,
You know which one I'm talking about? The one like the water in the hotel was all black and shit,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
like they
yeah.
found her body in the fucking.
What was her name?
I don't remember, but that is the creepiest fucking video because the doors of the thing were not moving. She was literally like looking around, like chanting shit. Like she was fucking sitting in there scared shitless, and it's not fake because she fucking died.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hoax. Like how could that be a fucking hoax? She's not gonna be like, oh, well, I'm about to commit suicide and jump in this like water tank, so I'm gonna
Here we go. Elisa Lam is her name.
Okay. Yeah, that shit is terrifying.
And the fact that like the water tank's freaking here, the doors to the water, like the thing has a lid.
Yeah, the way the
And
cops were saying it, they couldn't explain how she would
yeah,
be able to close it back
they
on her.
needed equipment. They needed equipment to get in. They needed
Yeah.
equipment to close it up again. Like
And even if it's like just a normal murder, why weren't the elevator doors closing at all?
yeah.
Like she was literally so freaked out, and as soon as she left the elevator doors, they shut. That is creepy as fuck. I watched that so many times, and oh my god, the first time I ever saw that, I just had fucking
The thing
goosebumps.
is, like, they didn't have any other security cameras in the hotel. Like, they didn't have something on the roof. They didn't
See,
have
I
something
don't
on the
know.
walls.
Yeah, you would think they
Yeah, you
would.
would think that she would go out to the lobby and then the lobby would have
Yeah.
cameras. You would think that.
And that's not even like the. I mean that's pretty fucking creepy because someone fucking died.
Yeah.
But there was also, and this one does have footage. This was from another hotel, and one of the staff of the hotel were getting complaints about this room being really loud. And I'm not. You know which one I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
and he was at the door knocking, and you just heard running around, and then like a scream.
Fucking, like, screaming.
And then he opened the door and no one was fucking in there and you see this like little fucking haze run out. That's fucking terrifying.
Also, I just gotta say, I freaking love how you hear the guy on the radio, it's like, hey man, don't go in there. Like, if something's going on in there, don't go in there. And the guy's like, I'm going in. Like, he goes,
I'm just gonna go
like,
check it out.
somebody's screaming in there. I bet, you know what? I bet he was thinking was like, someone was getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to, like, I'm the only one who needs that.
But dude, just imagine how you would feel walking in there and seeing it empty. Everything thrown around, cuts into the fucking sheets and shit. Like, that's fucking terrifying. Yeah, yeah. I think the video I watched, they were saying, oh yeah, well I mean it's a hotel, so their windows won't open, but I mean that probably wasn't necessarily the actual video to where it actually talked about it. But most hotels they don't have openable windows because they don't want people, killing themselves and shit. Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking terrifying. Yeah. No, that shit's scary.
Like, no, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Goodness. I have some friends who are like interested in like going to haunted locations. I need to get back in touch with them.
Yeah, no, I want to join.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. Hell yeah, you're
It'd be terrifying as fuck. I'm down. See, that's the whole thing. I'm super game for anything horrifyingly terrible.
Horrifyingly terrible.
I am always down for scary as shit. Until I'm in the scary shit, and then I'm like, this was a horrible idea.
Like, the roller coaster is going up the ramp, and you're like,
right. You're getting excited, and then you're like, oh, fuck. No, but I mean, that's how it is. Like, even like when you see like my streams of like playing scary games in VR, I'm all like, this is so fucking cool, and then I'm in the game, I'm like, guys, I don't want to go through this door.
Yes, I've seen you do that.
Oh, dude, I mean, it's terrifying. But in real life, I've always wanted to go do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Never once did I want to go like that video of that dude who went into like the catacombs and
Who died?
fuck.
And they haven't found him?
Yeah.
Like, that's terrifying.
That's fucking terrifying.
Like, I watched that video and like there's a difference between like being scared of like the dudes in the house. You know, there's a difference between being scared like that and then being scared like someone's dying kind of scared.
Yeah.
You know. There's like, oh, somebody's, like walking into a creepy room, and then there's like I'm watching a video of someone before their death, and you just see this guy, he's walking around like normal at first, and then you just see him deteriorate over time.
Yeah.
That is a different fear.
I mean, even then too, is like there wasn't even necessarily any visual proof of anything following him, but I mean, it's like one of those things is like your sanity will literally start to drop when you're in situations like that. When you're starting to get scared in the dark, alone, death everywhere around you, that will drop your sanity so far. And the whole thing is like, I don't even think anything supernatural happened. I think he just got really creeped out and he just forgot where he was going and he got lost inside the maze of the catacombs. And yeah, that's not a smart idea. Yeah. Yeah. The best way it could be, I guess, played in like a video game to kind of get that same feeling is Solus Project. No other game has done it as good as Solus Project. It's a VR game, and you're on this weird planet and stuff, but in the caves, you get this very like strong sense of claustrophobia, and there's like expert tunnels you can go through, and once you find those, you might not find your way out. Like, it's terrifying. Like, you will lose yourself in those tunnels. It is terrifying. Right? If you're on acid, you'll just come out like a new person, or you'll just die there. No, but yeah, no, I went into a few of them. I only found like 2 of the expert caves. I know of a 3rd one, but I never went back to do it. But literally, like, you take a few turns and you don't go too far. ever seen a game recreated like that. That was perfect way to have a cave exploration in a game. Is because it's all in VR too, so you're just fucking lost. And like you get a really good sense of like how easy it could be to fucking lose. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about some tips on player connections. This is what I do every time I park my car in Houston in the parking garage. Is that I'll walk a few feet, I'll turn around, I'll take a picture behind me because that's the way I'm going to see it on the road anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it the other way, so I'll turn around and I'll take a picture. And that's how I've done it every time, and I have to lose my car. Hopefully I won't. I did one time get to pinpoint where I parked my car in one garage. And so I had to rely on my I drove over, and it was a little scary for a little bit because I was like, oh my god,
I don't know where my car is.
yeah, this was like the first or second time that I had parked my car in one garage. But so I kind of did park my car up on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, but in Catacombs, they look so similar. You're gonna be like, yeah. Yeah. Just don't go into the Catacombs like an idiot. Well, the way SHAREfactory. So we gotta start keeping a close eye on it. I know it's been about. We've got some good talks about ghost stuff. Now we should probably like. I wanna see those videos you were talking about. So I think we're gonna go do that. Thank you for watching if you got this far. Tell me if you like the setup of just gameplay over us talking, if that was entertaining or not. Share your ghost stories. See, I'm doing it again. I always try to say, do whatever you want, but then I'm always like, hey, because I never want to be that pretentious dude, like, oh, like the videos, Right. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot, don't talk to me. Oh, no, see, they can make their decisions.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm always like, do whatever the fuck you want, and then I say what to do, and I'm like, god damn it.
Well, let me just write quick because I don't feel like the producer Well, I think that'll wrap it up for us today.
Right. Bye-bye. So if you made it this far, it's probably just because of the random-ass wrestling match. If you made it this far, props. Good on you, friend. Yeah, so, the mic totally went to shit at the very end. Like, you couldn't even hear us. Like, it just started lowering and lowering. Really makes me upset about that. But, if you've liked the beginning of it and stuff, I appreciate you sticking around. I know that's not really, like, a good problem to have for a video. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be using a standing mic from now on, doing this, and we're probably just going to, the way I'm going to do it is, she's going to come over and we're going to play video games for like an hour so we can get footage for an hour, and then what we're going to do is we're going to, just set it to record and we're going to talk. That way they're completely separated, and it's going to be like, we're not distracted. Like right now I'm watching the gameplay as I'm recording. Yeah, so ADHD sucks. And so yeah, we're gonna have a standing mic. It's gonna be awesome. I'm sorry about the quality in this one. I was actually pretty stoked for this, but I just can't seem to win one. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked it, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Alright.